Previously on Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. That family held a checkup? That was the wackest thing of all. All his G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Dude like cut my scrotum like it was a dice bag and told me to turn my head and cough and everything. It was embarrassing. Hello, I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to Ace Attorney, where Tracy's been kidnapped. June, there are guards right there. June 16th, 11:17 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Tracy! Tracy! You move quick, Apollo. Good show, good show. What? Tracy? You're okay. I thought... I going to get fired and then murdered by your father. What happened? Don't cry, Apollo. Those good-for-nothing gangsters. There are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Wait, just calm down, Apollo. Or else. Tracy! What the heck is that? Surprised? Yes. Where were you keeping that thing? No, don't answer that. Oh, right. She has hammer space in her panties. This is one of my best tricks, the amazing Mr. Hat. You look marvelous, darling. He's a big hit on stage at the Wonder Bar. Yes, I'm a big hit. Well, what do you think? Do you like it? You mean you, Tracy? There are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Apollo, now is not the time to be threatening me. It's you who's being threatened here. What? Remember what you said to Waukie's father yesterday? You promised you'd save his son. But that testimony was rock solid. What are you suggesting I do? Look, once the judge declares a verdict, it's all over. If I can use my talent to stop that from happening, I will. Tracy, no more staged abductions, please. I'm not talking about magic, Apollo. I know when the witness isn't confident. I can perceive what he's feeling. It might not mean anything, but it's all we got. You can see what he's feeling? Think back, Apollo. Think back to the times when there was a contradiction in his testimony. All the times. All the times there was a contradiction? Well, I think I remember them, sure. There were 2 times when he made statements he wasn't confident in. And each time, there was a contradiction. In his hand, he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene. He said the man tossed aside a pistol, but it turned out he wasn't sure, and sure enough, there was a contradiction. Well, that's true, but how does that help us? Didn't you notice anything? Whenever he made a statement he wasn't confident in, he displayed a certain habit. Paging through his book. In his hand, he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Did you see it? The very moment he said the word pistol, his fingers got all tense, and he fiddled with the corner of a page in his book. How am I supposed to see that? Well, I could see it. How else do you think Daddy went 7 years without losing a game of poker? What? I always sat next to Daddy during big matches. I could see what his opponents were feeling. You mean that's how Mr. Wright won all those games? It's not cheating officially. I wasn't looking at their hands or anything. And I wasn't there all the time either. Daddy's quite good at poker after all, but not good enough to go undefeated that long. Great, so he cheated, but what does that do for us? I don't believe this. You have to listen to his testimony one more time. No, scratch that. You have to watch his testimony. Perceive the truth. Watch a testimony. Perceive the truth. I completely forgot about the new mechanic. The only thing I'm perceiving is that I'm going to lose. Not true. Daddy said so. He said you have the power, Apollo. Mr. Wright said that? Watch the testimony. Perceive his true feelings. Is she serious? Yes, I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley. I didn't. Anyway. Time's up. Sorry, I can't think of any other way out of this one, Apollo. What was that she said before the trial started? Huh. Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine as long as you're there, Trucy. Is this what he meant by us being fine? Well, methods aside, she did avoid one guilty verdict already today. Time to show this court what I'm made of. Get ready for justice. Let's do it. Apollo. You know, I'm starting to think I can do this. I knew you could do it all along. Oh, one more thing. Try to cover for Mr. Hat as best you can. I just flew in from the coast and boy are my arms tired. Right. June 16th, 11:40 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 4. Court is now back in session. Right, we're fine. I'd like to say to the young lady standing next to you, Mr. Justice. Oh, you mean me? Don't you have anything to report? Anything concerning the mysterious phantom in the silk top hat? Right, him. Don't worry about him. I settled that. You settled that? Yes, it was an out-of-court settlement. Right. Perhaps Fraulein would have us believe it was nothing more than a passing dream. A fantastic illusion. Now you see it, now you don't. Am I right? I think he's on to me. I wish he would stop being so cool and handsome and desirable. Let us dispense with these niceties and get straight to the matter. What are your plans for our gifted witness? Right. The defense would like to request another cross-examination. Because I forgot to ask something. There was no issue with the witness's previous testimony. I will grant your request, however, but this court will not permit stalling for time. Understood, Your Honor. Don't forget, Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book. Witness testimony. From shot to call. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. I'm not sure I'm qualified to watch testimonies after all. Focus, Apollo. Find his weak spot. Focus. If only it were that easy. My ears hear what he says. My eyes see his expression. Do I have to do something more? What other senses do I have? But what's this? My bracelet? What's going on? My bracelet feels different somehow. I think Daddy was right. You can see it, can't you, Apollo? You're almost there. Find the weak spot in his testimony. I know this sounds crazy, but my bracelet is trying to tell me something. Cross-examination, start again. I cannot prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Which way did the killer run? By that time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran in the opposite direction. That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kataki mansion. Aktun, don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight. How did he know that's where I was going? Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience.
Hold it!
You were certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing. If one is to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood, nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that one drops one's flask upon the lab room floor. Ooh, cool answer. Very cool. So nothing strange about how he acted. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police.
Hold it!
So, you called immediately after witnessing the murder? The police undoubtedly have a record of the call. Why not check with them? Okay, that's new. Wait, Apollo! This has to be it. Wait, you mean a Sabbath? Don't forget, Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book. The only time he even had the book open was here, which means this is the place to look for this habit. I don't know how I know, but I know. Know what? It's my bracelet. It's different somehow. I can feel it reacting to something about the witness. Your bracelet? I'm not sure I get this focus stuff you were talking about, Trucy, but I have a feeling that trusting my bracelet is the way to go. Okay, I just need to touch my bracelet with Y as it reacts to the testimony. Okay. What's going on? I can see the witness's face. His expression so clearly. It is filling my mind. I can see nothing else. Hear nothing else. Apollo? Trucy, what's happening to me? This is what I meant by focusing. Focusing. In this state, you can see everything, Apollo. Everything the witness does. That's great, but this is kind of freaking me out over here. Just look for Mr. Stickler's twitch. His habit. You remember it, right? Sure. When he says something he's not sure of, he fiddles with a page of his book. You got it. Right now, you're looking at the witness's face. And your eyes are sort of bugging out. I bet they are. First, move your focus of attention down to Mr. Stickler's hand. His hand? You know what to look for now, but you have to be looking at the right place. She's right. I can only see his face like this. Time to try changing my viewpoint. Perfect. Now you're really ready. Ready for what? Ready to perceive the truth behind the twitch. Perceive. Try listening to the witness talk as you focus. Then watch for his habit. Right. You mean when he fiddles with the page. That's right. That's your signal to look closer to perceive with Y. Find his weak spot, and I guarantee we'll be able to give him the royal flush. Spoken like a true pokerhead starter. I'm a magician, thank you very much. So I have to pay attention to his words and his fingers. Don't worry, if you miss it, you can always try again. Right. Look out, nervous twitch, here comes justice. Okay. Ergo. I used my cell phone to call the police. Okay. I used my cell phone.
Gotcha!
Is that it? Did I do it? I saw it. Just now. I can see it. Mr. Justice, do you have something to say? All of this banging of desks is quite bad for my circulation, you know. Mr. Stickler, allow me to ask you a simple question. Why did you fiddle with the page of your book just now? The very moment you mentioned your cell phone. What are you talking about? I'm curious now about this cell phone of yours. Mind if I ask a few questions? What to ask? Ask to see his phone. Mr. Stickler, please show me your cell phone. Yeah, why? Whatever for? Show me and you'll find out. Well, I can't. I don't have it, you see. You don't have it? Mr. Stickler, is this your cell phone? Yeah, where did you get that? That's the phone from yesterday. Look, a cell phone. Someone dropped it beneath this tire. If the car moved, it would be crushed for sure. I wonder if it belongs to the doctor here. How strange, Mr. Stickler. Can you explain why your cell phone is sitting here in my hand at this very moment? Wait a minute. What is the meaning of this? This cell phone was found yesterday in the Maractus Clinic garage. The Maractus? Wait, that's where the victim lived. Yeah, that's impossible. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court, didn't you? If your cell phone is here, how could you have called the police? It's true. I didn't have my cell phone that night. That is why it can be said that I called the police from a public payphone. A payphone? So you didn't call on your cell phone after all? Just where was this payphone located, Mr. Stickler? Well, to indicate it with a certainly high degree of accuracy, it was right around here. That's quite a ways from the park. But why did you lie? There can only be one reason. He didn't want the court to know he had lost his cell phone because it was found in the victim's garage. What are you seeing? Mr. Stickler, you broke into the Maractus Clinic garage on the night of the murder. Oh my God, he's the panty thief. This cell phone tells all. But that's ridiculous. That makes it sound like I snuck into this fellow's garage to commit some crime. As though I were trained to kill him. Well, Dr. Maractus was killed that night. Well, yes, but no. This line of reasoning has to be against the rules. Yes, it's true. I lost my cell phone. But you can't prove that I lost it that night. Well, Mr. Justice, if that cell phone was dropped the night of the murder, it does raise considerable suspicions as to a connection with the crime. Now's your chance, Apollo. Connect Mr. Stickler to the crime. Oh, he's already connected enough. I just have to prove it. Well, do I have a piece of evidence that can do the job? Can I prove the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder? Crap. Of course I have evidence. Ooh, I like your swagger here, forehead. Hit it. The court will see this evidence, Mr. Justice. Hit it, as they say. The evidence that proves the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder is... Oh boy, I hope I'm right. Let me see. Just a bit. I mean, it has to be, right?
Take that!
Nope. Oh, wait. The music did stop. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? No comment here, Judge. No dice, Mr. Justice. Penalty. Damn it. Apollo! Remember where we found that cell phone? If it had fallen on the ground before that night... Oh, right. That's right, the cell phone would have been crushed. I'm an idiot. Your Honor, one more chance, please. Mr. Justice, keep this up and you'll run yourself out of a life's worth of chances. Okay, the evidence that proves on that night was this.
Take that!
That's a side view mirror? As it so happens, Dr. Maractus's car was in an accident that took place the night of the murder. An accident. It happened a little after 9 p.m. just outside People Park, our murder scene. Dr. Maractus's car hit a pedestrian. What are you trying to see? From the absence of a mirror, it's clear the car was parked after the accident, which means it was parked there after 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. If your cell phone had been dropped before the car was parked in that garage, then it would have been crushed. After all, it was lying on the ground right under the wheel. Ergo, Mr. Stickler, the only time you could have dropped this in that garage was after 9 p.m. the night of the murder in the park. Mr. Stickler, you know what this means? You did break into the victim's garage that night. This is most unexpected. Mr. Justice, are you naming the witness as a suspect in the murder of Pal Maractus? No, stop. This is too much. This can't be happening. Prosecutor, say something. I suppose it is worth saying this. No connection has been found between Wesley Stickler and Pal Maractus. That is, other than this. I believe our next testimony will be most revelatory. Is the witness prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I know that face. That's the face of guilt. Witness testimony. Stickler's truth. That night, yes, I went to the supermarket. I must have dropped my cell phone on my way back. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand, all as clear as day. It was him. I saw the defendant at the scene. Yes, but your cell phone was lying in a garage. Yes, well, as you can see, my model of cell phone has a defect. It is given to roading. It is quite a pain when I drop it alongside the road, you know. Looks like a normal cell phone to me. In any case, Mr. Justice, the cross-examination, please. That's funny. My bracelet didn't react at all during that testimony. This nervous habit must not be acting up. I didn't sense anything either, actually. Looks like you're on your own this time around. Right. No problem, I hope. Here comes justice. Cross-examination, start. That night, yes, I went to the supermarket.
Hold it!
So, you went shopping, which means you were holding a grocery bag when you witnessed the murder taking place? Yeah, well, yes, of course. Okay, he's doing the thing. Incidentally, the prosecution has received no report of this domestic detail. Mr. Stickler, can you explain yourself? No. Yes, I did go shopping, really. I walked around the supermarket trying out the free samples. It's a deeply spiritual time for me. I'm sure the store clerks would disagree. You think sampling free food counts as a religion? In any case, that night, I sampled to my heart's content and was on my way back home. Yes. I must have dropped my cell phone on my way back.
Hold it!
That's when you passed in front of the Maractus clinic? Why, yes, that's correct. That was a pretty suspicious pause there. Mr. Stickler, do you think you could be a bit more specific? Please show us the exact route you took on the night of the murder. Of course. The supermarket is here along the main road. My way home from there takes me past the Maractus Clinic. This is probably when I dropped my cell phone. Yet, woe is I walked on unaware of my loss. And walked right into that fateful park. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime. Which entrance did you enter the park from? Well, to be exact, one might say that I went in from the entrance closest to the Maractus Clinic. The same entrance our victim used. Did you notice anything when you entered? Wheel marks from a noodle stand, for instance. I have no recollection of such a thing, no. Yet, though I might have missed the tracks, I could not miss what happened next. I am a keen observer of the obvious, you might say. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand, all as clear as day. This part of the testimony is the key, I know it. Should I press him about the killer, the victim, or the noodle stand? The killer. Are you sure you remember the killer clearly? How many times must I repeat myself? It was him, that unscrupulous fox-like fellow in the defendant's chair. He was looking even more unscrupulous at the time, no less. He does look a bit like one of those trickster foxes in Legends of Yore. I guess the killer's identity is already old territory. Time to ask something new. All right, let's go back.
Hold it!
Okay, so let's ask about the noodle stand. Do you happen to remember the noodle stand? Quite well, yes. For a student of the sciences, keen observation and a healthy curiosity are vital. I remember everything. I could even read the sign. I believe it said, noodle. Yes, that was it. Nope. For remembering something quite well, it sure took you a while to tell us. And thank you for telling us that a noodle stand sells noodles. Very enlightening. Well, Mr. Justice. What about that sign? Could that be important? Very important. So the sign on the noodle stand said, noodle. It appears the defense has just obtained a vital piece of testimony. Is this noodle stand's broth really that delicious? I'll have to go sample the wares one of these days. Once we, return the noodle stand from evidence to its rightful owner, assuming we actually do that here. I think that's worth adding to the testimony as well. Whatever sort of noodles that stand sells, it can't match up to IVU's cafeteria. Some apply to the school merely for a taste of our smart noodles. I wouldn't mind a taste of that myself. All right. Let's present this.
Objection!
And you're absolutely sure the sign read noodle? Why, just last week, my professor offered me this praise. At least you have good eyesight, Stickler. I'll give you that. It read, without a doubt, noodle. I see. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Is that pity I see in your eyes? Let's take a look at our map, shall we? So you're claiming that when you saw the sign, you were standing here, was it? Although it would have been a bit hard to read the sign from this spot. You think so? Mr. Stickler, I'd like you to please take another look at the stand and to carefully read what the sign says. See, the sign actually states the name of the stand's owner. El Dooms. Inconceivable. I'm certain it was definitely Noodle for sure, positive.
I'm afraid your professor was wrong about that eyesight.
I wouldn't be so quick to jump to that conclusion. The sign he saw changes everything. Was there a mirror behind him? The witness says the sign said Noodle, but he saw it wrong? The answer is quite simple. The witness saw the sign wrong.
That would seem to be the case, yes.
Apollo, the only thing that changes is the witness's eyesight. Yeah? Okay, so you've proven the witness has bad eyesight and is overconfident. But that just proves he's a bad witness. It doesn't solve the case. Okay. How rude. I've not made a single mistake, I assure you. I am a student of science. Errors are not tolerated in my field, I'll have you know.
What if Mr. Stickler is right to be so confident?
And if he is right about the sign, what does that mean for the entire case? He saw it in a mirror. What would you say if I told you that there is one spot from which the sign would be read the way Mr. Stickler claims? But
Mr. Justice, show us this spot.
The witness actually viewed the stand from this location. Over here?
Take that!
The witness was standing here, on the opposite side.
How do you know that?
When viewed from the south, the sign on the stand reads El Dunes, as we know. However, I'll bet I could have spun the damn thing around to look at this, and I would have known that. Observe the other side of the stand.
Oh, this side says Noodle.
Exactly. The name of the stand is split between the front and back signs. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court. You witnessed a crime from the northern side of the park, not the south. Meow! You get me. So what? So what? What does it matter if he saw the killing from the north or the south side? It makes no difference at all. He's right. Travel far enough to the south and you will end up going north. Viewed on a global scale, directions are utterly without meaning. Actually, maybe he's right. What does it change? It changes everything, Apollo. I know. Tracy, remember his testimony from before? Though to be honest, I'm a little scared of where this is leading. The killer and the victim were facing each other here. Then, at the moment the killer raises his weapon, Mr. Stickler shouts. At which point the victim turns his head to look, and the killer fires his pistol. That's why the bullet hit him in the right temple. No contradictions, right? Right. But if Mr. Stickler were standing on the north side of the park, that reverses the whole scenario. Completely. If Mr. Stickler shouts from where he is now, and the victim looks in his direction, the bullet would have to hit his left temple.
Oh.
In other words, someone standing at point K couldn't shoot the victim in his right temple. It's impossible.
That's right.
So, now that we know that Mr. Stickler was standing on the northern side, the wound location takes on an entirely different meaning. Indeed, you are absolutely correct, Fraulein.
What meaning?
The entry wound was on the right side of the victim's head, correct? Well, the right side of the victim's head is north.
North. Oh. Well, that's where the witness, Wesley Stickler, was standing.
Correct. So if he was standing to the north, then the only person here who could have shot the victim in the right temple was Mr. Stickler himself.
Order! Order! Order!
Wow, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. She's flipped this whole case on his head while I was still figuring it out.
Objection!
Clarify one point for me, if you would, Hair Forehead. What now? Are you truly accusing this college student of murder? Well, can't say he exactly looks innocent, but something still doesn't feel right. I just can't picture him as the real killer. No, please, look aside. I'm really a nice guy. All my friends say so.
Let's hear what the defense has to say.
What are you gonna do now, Justice? Should I really accuse Mr. Stickler? Accused of another crime, yeah. I don't think Wesley Stickler is the killer, but he's not innocent either. His unusual silence tells me that much. Mr. Stickler, you seem unusually quiet. Tell us why now. The word confession isn't in my dictionary. Tisk, 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 Hair Forehead. I'm afraid it falls to you to elucidate Hair Stickler's silence.
Mr. Justice, did you say you were accusing the witness just now for a crime other than murder? Your reason. The court's all ears.
Nah, I know he's guilty of something, but what crime other than murder is there? Do I have evidence that shows his involvement in some other crime?
Your evidence? The court's all eyes, Mr. Justice.
Show us evidence that points to the witness's involvement in a crime. There.
Take that!
The evidence is this.
What is that? Women's underwear?
Hey, those are mine. Oh, I probably should have presented Plum's panties instead, huh? Since they were in the trash can to the north. Don't look at me like that!
Order! 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 Mr. Stickler. Well, I can't say this comes as a shock.
Yeah, it's not what it seems. By Pythagoras theorem, on the night of the murder, just past 9 p.m., a young girl catches a penny snatcher red-handed. Bravely, she gives chase, but the snatcher flees and hides himself in no other place than the Miraculous Clinic garage. Incidentally, these panties were found in the exhaust pipe of the car there. Presumably, he was trying to hide the evidence of his crime. Ergo, while you may not be a murderer, you are guilty of penny snatching in the first degree. Please, hear me out. It's not what it looks like.
Order! 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 Mr. Stickler, you should be ashamed.
It's not what it seems.
So are we to understand that you were silent not because you were guilty of murder, but because you lacked the courage to admit your theft of this girl's undergarments?
Ahem. Perhaps you are not aware that my school's name was originally written IV. I stands for intelligent. V stands for valiant. See?
Your point.
I'm not done. Now, I'm a major in the science department. And what does science teach if not curiosity? Yes, we of the IVU science department are valiantly curious. No challenge is too daunting, and what greater challenge to science than... Come on, you're talking about a girl's panties here. No, you do not understand. A mystery is the unknown, and the unknown is unacceptable. And my friends, when it comes to mysteries, those panties are the promised land. From the moment I first laid eyes on them, I was compelled to investigate for science. A full-size car tire was only the first mystery those panties revealed. A tire? Yes, I saw her do it. She pulled a tire out of those panties. But that's not all. First, there was the tire, then a stew pot, and a frozen chicken. One mystery after another. It was magic. Oh, I remember now. He's one of the regulars in the audience at the Wonder Bar. Well, she did say that he looked familiar. Eh? He's talking about my magic panties trick. I just don't understand. A broom from a pair of panties? It mocks the very laws of physics. A broom and a frozen chicken, Trucy? Whatever happened to doves and bunny rabbits?
Mr. Stickler, you stole this girl's panties to understand a magic trick?
You say panties, but they are so much more than that. For me, they are an object for serious study.
I wonder. There's been a recent rash of panty snatchings in the area. Were they all you?
I am sorry, but I did it for science. Each time I spied a pair of paint, maybe this would be the pair that elucidated. But that night, as she's chased, perhaps this is the night that I will seize the truth that lies within the. Yet woe was I, for once again the lacy hard pattern truth.
Still, that leaves one thing unexplained.
You refer to a witness's other lie, yes? The witness claimed he saw the crime from the south, but was, in fact, in the north.
Indeed. Would anyone care to explain why he lied about that?
Be my guest, Herr Forehead.
Me?
Did I not hear you correctly? Did you not say you do not accuse the witness of murder? Why, then, did the witness lie about his location at the time of the shooting?
Okay, now's when I present the bloomers.
Or have you no idea?
Apollo! There's something about the way the diagram is arranged right now. When you think about it, right near where Mr. Stickler was standing, isn't there a trash can? Yes.
Well, Mr. Justice, what say you? Do you have any evidence to show why the witness lied about his location?
Yep.
Take that!
The evidence that shows why he lied is this.
What? More panties?
How many panties are you carrying in your pocket, Herr Forehead?
These are the last, honest. These were found in a trash can at the park. Looking at the diagram, we can see that the trash can was right next to where the witness stood.
Mr. Stickler, you didn't.
Alas, I'm a failure as a scientist. I can't unravel the mysteries of the universe. I can't even unravel a pair of panties.
So, these panties are your handiwork as well?
That night, I had been chased, hounded into the miraculous clinic garage. Weeping in frustration, I was forced to abandon my prize. Don't you see how I felt?
Believe me, I'd rather not. I hid in the garage for a short while. Then, abandoning the panties, I made for home. To avoid the office where the girl works, I went towards the south entrance. When I saw them hanging there on a clothesline by a giant mansion. A giant pair of panties! Ah, apparently he didn't know those bloomers belonged to the mob. I had them safe in my pocket, ready to take home, when I stumbled upon a murder. The murder of Dr. Maractus. I reported what I had seen, but as I waited for the police to arrive, I got scared. What if they searched me? That's when you disposed of the bloomers? Yes, it was a severe blow to the progress of science, but one that had to be borne.
A fascinating, if disturbing, tale. I believe this brings today's proceedings to a close, and I'm more than pleased to dismiss this witness for the remainder of the trial.
One last thing, if I might.
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin?
Regardless of where we ended today, some vital points were made. Namely, that the defendant, Waki Kitaki, was at the scene of the crime. And he was pointing a weapon at the victim. One more thing. Waki Kitaki has a clear motive.
Indeed, the defendant Waki Kitaki is still the prime suspect in this case. The only suspect, in fact, assuming there was no one else on the scene at the time. Yet, a mystery remains. The location of the wound in the victim's right temple has yet to be explained. The court requests further investigation from both the defense and prosecution.
Yeah, baby.
No problem.
Very well. This brings the trial for the day to a close. Court is adjourned.
To be continued in the next episode to the outro. Well, Waki is still far from being off the hook, but at least we've discredited our only eyewitness, and we'll have a chance to properly investigate and actually talk to our client for the first time. Not examining the noodle stand in the court record was a real bonehead move on my part. If I'd done so, I'd have figured out Stickler's position much more organically rather than have Trucy talk me through it. I must be more thorough in future. But yeah, still no idea who could have actually killed Maractus. If it was Alita, it would be in our best interest to not hire us to defend him. Although, if Waki thinks Alita did it, that would explain why he insists that he's guilty. Personally, I think it's more likely that he's an idiot. Kinda hoping we haven't met the true killer yet. Anywho, we'll get started on our investigation next time. In the meantime, up here's a playlist of my Danganronpa V3 playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Also, if you'd like to help support a fuzzy little monster and get videos a week early, we have channel memberships for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!